Everybody knows Mario. Your mom, your grandma, your uncle's dog. They all know this Italian plumber. For over 3 decades, Mario has been in some of the most iconic video games of all time. The games are approachable but deep, and there's something for everyone. The Wii U was one of the consoles that Nintendo released, and it had a load of Mario games on it. And it all started with New Super Mario Bros. U, which released in North America on November 18th, 2012, Japan on December 8th, 2012, Europe and Australia on November 30th, 2012. Just like the other games in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, it brought back the classic side-scrolling platformer that we all know and love from the Mario series. But this time, it was in HD. This has a standard Mario Bros. Plot where Mario, and this time Luigi and some Toads, are on a mission to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser and the Koopalings. The Wii U really dove into the Koopalings, and as much as I get it, I just don't love their designs. I was a big fan of Kid Koopa, but they threw him away like trash, and now we have Ludwig. One of the best additions to this game, though, was the Super Acorn, which transformed Mario into a flying squirrel. You could glide and climb onto walls, and it was great. And baby Yoshis were in this game, and they were both adorable and useful. And just like in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you could play in multiplayer with up to 4 friends and couch co-op to make this an extremely fun but chaotic Mario experience. They made a lot of these New Super Mario Bros. Titles, and it seems like Nintendo just loved the term new in 2010s. But since there were so many of these games, they didn't really feel all that new. This game also had an expansion that kind of felt like its own game, with New Super Luigi U, which initially released in North America on June 20th, 2013, in Japan on June 19th, 2013, in Europe on June 20th, 2013, and Australia on June 21st, 2013. 2013 was the year of Luigi, where Luigi took the spotlight in a couple different Nintendo games. Even though this was initially a DLC expansion, it ended up releasing as its own physical copy. It included 80 new levels, and this game was a much harder challenge than Mario's Adventure. Luigi had different handling. He was a little slippier and floatier than Mario was, and having 100 seconds to complete each level made each level actually really enjoyably challenging. The year of Luigi was a wild time, and it was great for Luigi to get his own platformer, and even in the multiplayer mode, you can't play as Mario. So why is this on the list again?
You better keep reading, script boy. Alright, fine, I will, God.
Super Mario 3D World released in North America on November 22nd, 2013, Japan on November 21st, 2013, Europe on November 29th, 2013, and Australia on November 30th, 2013. Mario 3D World was a blend of 2D and 3D Mario games, offering a really unique perspective on Mario's formula. This game is packed with personality, having vibrant worlds and creative level design, and it quickly became one of my favorite Mario games of all time. The big gimmick in this game was the cat suit, transforming Mario and friends into feline versions of themselves. This power-up was great. It allowed you to climb walls and pounce on enemies. But what made this game even better was playing in multiplayer. Up to 4 players could play together with a great variety of characters, including Peach and Rosalina, which each had their own unique abilities. This added loads of variety and replayability to the game. This game also introduced Captain Toad minigames where you solve a little puzzle cube, but we'll touch on him later. This game was pure fun, and it was one of the most unique Mario experiences that we've ever gotten. I'm really hoping we get another 2D, 3D hybrid Mario experience to come to the Switch or Switch 2. Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Games released on November 15th, 2013 in North America, December 5th, 2013 in Japan, November 8th, 2013 in Europe, and November 9th, 2013 in Australia. I've never been a huge fan of these games, but I can't say I hated this game. I'm more of a Winter Olympics guy myself, and this game wasn't terrible. I think these games would just be way better if they added more to them. Having a list of basic minigames with an Olympic theme is kind of disappointing when you have these 2 titans of characters. Of course, the main attracting force of this game is that the roster of iconic characters from both Mario and Sonic makes this game approachable for anybody. The biggest compliment I can give this game is that it would be perfect for an uncle to give to their nieces and nephews if you don't know what else to get them. But whenever I play this game, I feel like I need to have a doctor on standby because my blood pressure gets so high from being disappointed by these games. Dr. Luigi released on December 31st, 2013 in North America, and the rest of the world on January 15th, 2014. Alright, not this doctor. In one of my recent videos, I got roasted for calling Dr. Mario Mario in a costume. But this is just Luigi in a costume. Dr. Luigi is an interesting puzzle game. It was surprisingly a fresh take on the Dr. Mario formula by adding L-shaped capsules for a new twist, but this game was just fine at best. It was $5 more than Dr. Mario RX, but I ended up getting it anyways because I'm a coward. The Dr. Mario series of games always felt weird to me. I feel like if I ever want to reach for one of these puzzle games, I'm going to reach for Tetris, but I ended up playing this game more than I thought. This game had both classic and new modes, offering challenging and addictive experiences for any puzzle game fan. This game was fun for the most part. I can't say this game was bad, it was just more or less neutral. NES Remix 1 and 2 both released separately, but I'm going to include them together because they're practically the same thing. I feel like it's right to lump these games together. These games just took the original NES titles and remixed them into a series of mini challenges. It had games like the original Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda, and each challenge tested players' abilities in unexpected ways. It was a good way to reuse these games' assets and make these games a little bit more interesting than just playing them on the Virtual Console. Whether it was speed running through levels, or defeating enemies in weird methods, or playing as Link in Donkey Kong, these games were a refreshing take on the old classics. I would prefer to play these titles on the Virtual Console, but having a new way to experience your nostalgia is something that's really nice, and I'm glad Nintendo's tried to do this. Mario Kart 8 released in North America and Europe on May 30th, 2014, Japan on May 29th, 2014, and Australia on May 31st, 2014. After the incredible success of Mario Kart Wii, it was just a matter of time until Nintendo released a new Mario Kart for the home console. And Mario Kart 8 took the world by storm. It was nothing short of a spectacular release. Mario Kart 8 took the series into beautiful HD and had an incredible roster of characters. A large portion of the roster was the Koopalings, which again Nintendo was pushing during this time, but it's still great to have so many lovable characters. This game was missing some fan favorite characters though, like Diddy Kong and Funky Kong from the last games. The main gimmick of this game was the gravity mechanic, and it quickly became one of the best entries in the series with the beautiful track designs and all of the fun to be had. And the sales don't lie, this game ended up becoming the best-selling game on the Wii U. The new gravity mechanic allowed you to drive your carts on walls and ceilings, adding new dimensions to the gameplay. This game also featured new and returning power-ups with the new fan favorite Crazy Eights. This made sure that races were always wild. Mario Kart 8 also had a great online multiplayer for a Nintendo game, allowing players from around the world to play together. This was also the first Mario Kart to get a DLC, and it had 2 expansion passes allowing characters from games like Splatoon and The Legend of Zelda into the game. They even added a few Mercedes-Benz cars to the game so I could feel what it's like to have money.
This is the closest I'll get to ever driving a Mercedes.
This was the perfect game to showcase the Wii U's capabilities for both online and Nintendo's jump to the HD environment. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze released in North America and Europe on February 21st, 2014, in Japan on February 13th, 2014, and Australia on February 22nd, 2014. The Donkey Kong Country series has always been a fan favorite, and this game is no exception, and I think it's one of the best in the series. This game had beautiful visuals and great level design, making it a must-play platformer. This game also has one of the best soundtracks on the Wii U. I like to think of this as a spectrum where Yoshi games are the easiest platformers, Mario is middle of the road, and Donkey Kong countries are usually the harder. If you've never played a Donkey Kong Country before, these games can be quite difficult. I personally love having the challenge, but for some people I can see why this game would be frustrating. Overall, this is a great addition to the Wii U lineup, and I recommend anybody give it a go. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U released on November 21st, 2014 in North America, December 6th, 2014 in Japan, November 28th, 2014 in Europe, and November 29th, 2014 in Australia. In the same year we got Mario Kart, we got Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, and this delivered the best overall fighting game experience on the console. It had a massive roster of characters from across Nintendo and gaming's history, including a bunch of Mario characters. It was an incredible addition to the Smash Bros. Series.
Nope, there's still no Waluigi, so I don't want it.
Now I get this isn't a Mario game in the conventional sense, but I would feel wrong leaving out such an impactful game for the console. Whether you were playing with friends locally or competing online, Smash Bros. For the Wii U was an incredible experience from top to bottom. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker released on December 5th, 2014 in North America, November 13th, 2014 in Japan, January 2nd, 2015 in Europe, and January 3rd, 2015 in Australia. Toad finally got his own game, and it's a puzzle platformer where you had Captain Toad navigating through a series of levels, each filled with treasures and challenges. The gimmick of this game is that Toad can't jump, so you have to find a way to navigate through the environment on your own. Moving the world around you was a great change of pace, and it offered a unique experience that was both relaxing and enjoyable in the Mario universe. I'm really glad they decided to expand on this because Captain Toad was one of my favorite parts of 3D World. If you haven't played this game yet, I think it's one of the most underrated games on the Wii U and Switch. I highly recommend it to anybody who likes any kind of Mario game. Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars released on March 5th, 2015 in North America, March 19th, 2015 in Japan, March 20th, 2015 in Europe, and March 21st, 2015 in Australia. I normally love puzzle games, but these games just don't do it for me. This is a puzzle game where you have to navigate mini Marios to a goal by manipulating the environment around them. None of the titles in this series have been my jam, and this wasn't either. These games just didn't feel satisfying to play and are usually very short, but this game did something great and added a level editor, allowing players to create their own puzzles and share them with people across the world. I thought that was a great idea for this game series. If you combine that with the fact that this game was available on both the Wii U and 3DS for one price, it really wasn't a bad deal. The community-made content kept this game fresh and engaging, and for the price, it was one of my favorite in the series, even if that's not saying much. Mario Party 10 released on March 20th, 2015 in North America and Europe, March 12th, 2015 in Japan, and March 21st, 2015 in Australia. This is one of the infamous kart riding Mario parties where players move together across the board to reach a destination. And I'm gonna go on record and say this is one of the most overhated Mario parties of all time. I've never been a fan of the car mechanic, but this game does it better than Mario Party 9 in my opinion. The new minigames were pretty solid, and it brought one of my favorite Mario Party game modes into the series, Bowser Party. One player controls Bowser using the gamepad while the others play as a team. It was competitive and it added a great twist to the game. It is something I come back to regularly, even to this day. Having Bowser causing chaos and others trying to survive it is a unique take. I wish they would try and do something like this again. A lot of people write off the kart riding Mario parties because they're not like the old games, and I understand that. This is nowhere near my favorite Mario Party, but I do think this game has loads of fun to be had. This is far from the best Mario Party, but it's still something I think is worth checking out. Super Mario Maker released on September 11th, 2015 in North America and Europe, September 10th, 2015 in Japan, and September 12th, 2015 in Australia. This game put the power of level creation in the hands of players across the world and was one of the biggest successes on the Wii U. This game was a dream come true for so many Mario fans, allowing them to design their own Mario levels and share them with anyone in the world, adding so much replayability and creativity to the hands of players. The level editor let players make levels using elements from different Mario games, creating unique and challenging courses for anybody. You could make levels using assets from different Mario games like Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World. The community is really what made this game special though. From making clever puzzles to nearly impossible level challenges, Mario Maker offered loads of entertainment for anybody, and it was one of the games where the only limit was your imagination. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash released on November 20th, 2015 in North America and Europe, January 28th, 2016 in Japan, and November 21st, 2015 in Australia. Excluding the Olympic series, this was the only Mario sports game on the Wii U. But this game came out and started the downfall of all of the Mario sports series. This game was overwhelmingly disappointing, and there's nothing ultra about it. This is a bare bones tennis game featuring Mario characters. All of the game modes are just a slight variation of tennis, and I get this is a tennis game, but come on, at least give us some variety in the gameplay. On the GameCube, this series had loads of content, but it seems like it lost any attention to detail that it desperately needed. The game overall was a swing and a miss, and I don't recommend playing this game to anybody. You're better off going and playing Wii Sports Tennis. Yoshi's Woolly World released on October 16th, 2015 in North America, July 16th, 2015 in Japan, June 26th, 2015 in Europe, and June 25th, 2015 in Australia. This game had players play as Yoshi in an awesome world built entirely of yarn and fabric. This game was a visual masterpiece, and with its unique art style and adorable character designs, is one of the most visually impressive games on the console. The gameplay was alright. It had Yoshi unraveling yarn and transforming into different shapes to solve puzzles and progressing through levels. It was a creative platformer, but it was really easy to beat. The game lacked any level of challenge, and I get that Yoshi games mostly serve as an intro to 2D platformers for Nintendo, but I wish this game had a difficulty selection to make this game more of a challenge. The game did offer the addition of co-op, so you could play with a friend and explore the world together, which was a nice touch. All in all, this game was visually impressive, and it was a fun game to beat, even if it just took a few hours. Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge released on April 28th, 2016 in North America, January 28th, 2016 in Japan, April 28th, 2016 in Europe, and April 29th, 2016 in Australia. This game brought a new twist to the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, integrating Nintendo's Amiibo features into the gameplay. I loved Amiibo, and I loved the idea of them overall, but I think this game was just a letdown. I think this game was a decent idea for people who collected Amiibo, but at the end of the day, it just seemed like it should have been a game mode inside of a different Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. Players used their Amiibo to unlock and control different characters who each had unique abilities. Like in the other games in the series, you had a variety of puzzles where you could could guide your mini characters to the goal by manipulating the environment. It was fine, but it seemed like it would be better as a game mode than in a standalone entry. And from what I've seen, most people who collect amiibos did so by keeping them in the box. So it alienated a large portion of people who collected amiibos. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games released June 24th, 2016 in North America and Europe, June 23rd, 2016 in Japan, and June 25th, 2016 in Australia. Yet another round of Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. This game featured a variety of summer sport events, including track and field and swimming, and like always, had a big roster of characters from both Mario and Sonic games. If you've played one of these games, you've literally played them all. Most of the games are just the same as they were in the other entries, with a couple of new ones scattered in here and there. These games are officially done now, with the Olympics stating that they're going to start investing the money they used to develop these games into crypto, which I think is wild, but still probably a better use than these games.
My Big the Cat NFT is going to the moon.
Paper Mario Color Splash released on October 7th, 2016 in North America and Europe, October 13th, 2016 in Japan, and October 8th, 2016 in Australia. Paper Splash finally brought a new Paper Mario game to the Wii U with its signature style and humor. This time, Mario had a quest to restore the color to Prism Island and paint it back to life. The Paper Mario series has always been something I think changes the most from entry to entry. Mario had to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and restore the island back to vibrant colors, but this game struggled to find its footing as a good RPG game. Every Paper Mario game feels like they are reinventing the formula when they make them, and it's wild that they can't find a good formula to make these games consistent. I'm a huge fan of the Paper Mario series. I love Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario, and even though there's so much variation from game to game, I think each offers something unique. The battles were turn-based with a focus on timing and strategy, and of course this game offered so much witty dialogue and quirky characters that made this adventure even more enjoyable. I love the Paper Mario series, and it's a shame they really never found their footing with these games. I really wish they stuck to the formula of Thousand Year Door and made these games the premier Mario RPG series, but they kind of just use this game as a canvas for whatever idea they want to try out. The Wii U offered so many different Mario experiences on the console, and now most of these games have been ported over to the Switch. And it's a great thing they did. The Wii U struggled to sell consoles, but the games on it were all really fun. And the fact that they had a second chance on the Switch to make these games something special is great. But one thing that will never get ported to the Switch was the Virtual Console. The Virtual Console brought loads of older games from the older consoles onto the Wii U eShop available for purchase. This was the best way to get older titles without having to track down a retro copy from the game store or a garage sale. It's nice that they were available for a lower price point so you could download them straight to your console and it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. The current system on NSO is really nice because I don't have to purchase these games individually, but not being able to get the games you want when you want them is disappointing. The Virtual Console is something that will be really missed, and it's really a shame that as of March 2023, you can no longer log on and purchase games anymore. Overall, Mario has had loads of great adventures on the Wii U, and even if the console wasn't the biggest success, it had great IPs on it. The Wii U wasn't a success, and for a good amount of reasons, but that didn't mean that Nintendo didn't try and create a collection of games that were great for the console. I do want to know what the best games to pick up for the Wii U are. I'm in a gaming slump and I'm looking for something to pick up and play, so let me know. And if you made it this far in the video, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I hope that you and your family have an incredible rest of your day, and if you like anything you saw here, please consider subscribing.